Have you ever wondered why some people have very huge earnings? Their income is high, but they keep struggling financially every day. Whereas some people with very modest incomes seem to be building wealth steadily every day. The difference is not in what they earn. The difference is usually in financial literacy, the level of financial literacy, and financial discipline, if you ask me. So, in this video, I'm going to explain to you what financial literacy means and the 5 pillars of money that everybody needs to know. You see, financial literacy is a very important life hack. Unfortunately, a lot of people pass through school and they are never taught financial literacy. So what is financial literacy? Financial literacy is the ability to understand and use financial knowledge to make informed decisions about your money. That is what financial literacy is all about. So having financial skills, having financial knowledge, ability to understand financial information. Financial information are provided for us every day by people who prepare financial statements. But do you understand it? Can you use it? When you say balance sheet, do you know what it is? Do you know what to look for? Do you know what is being communicated to you? When you see a statement of income, when you see a statement of changes in equity, when you see basically this financial information that are communicated, do you understand the language? Accounting is the language of business. Do you understand it? You don't need to be an accountant. But once you have an understanding of finance, you are able to make use of your knowledge of financial information to make informed decisions about your money. So we're talking about decisions about earnings, about budgeting, about savings, about investment, about borrowing, about protecting yourself from scammers, from risk. This is what financial literacy is all about. So we're going to look at the 5 money pillars that everybody should know. So why is financial literacy important? Why do we need to disturb ourselves to be financially literate? Well, several researches show that when you are financially literate, it helps you to make better use of your money. It helps you to avoid being scammed. There are fraudsters, financial fraudsters all over the place. So when you're financially literate, it helps you to protect your money from these scammers. Also, it helps you to budget your money to make better use of your money. Financial literacy does not actually guarantee that you are going to be a wealthy person, that you're going to be a billionaire. No, that is not what financial literacy is about. You may become a billionaire, yes, if you work hard and smart and you have the opportunity. Because life is all about opportunities. So if the opportunity is there for you, you might be able to use financial literacy to grab it. But that is not what financial literacy is all about. It's not about making you a wealthy person. It is about giving you the ability to make the best use of the resources you have. So you are able, if you have decision A, B, C, D, financial literacy will enable you to take the best decision that will be for the best. So that is what financial literacy is all about. And that is why we need to be financially literate. Now, I want us to look at these 5 money skills, which I call the 5 pillars of financial literacy. It's very, very important that everybody should have these money skills. The first one is earnings. When you're financially literate, it helps in your earnings. It positions you to earn more than the person who is not financially literate. This is because you are able to use your money to earn better. In fact, if it is a salaried job that you are looking for the fact that you're financially literate, it means you perform better at interviews than the person who is not. Also, in the workplace, if you're financially literate and your employer sees that you're financially literate, you'll be positioned ahead of the person who is not. Then if you're a business person, if you're financially literate, you are able to keep your books cleaner, you are able to organize yourselves better, you are able to budget, you are able to basically earn better than the person who is not financially literate. So the essence of being financially literate is one of the pillars is that it helps in your earnings. Everybody wants to earn better than they are earning right now. So one way to achieve that is through financial literacy. Another one is in your spending. Spending is something that everybody should be disciplined about. When you have financial literacy, it helps you to be disciplined. Of course, you can be literate but not disciplined. You can be financially literate but you are not disciplined. But usually it is expected that everybody who is financially literate will have financial discipline. So when you are financially literate and disciplined, it helps in your spending. You are able to separate your needs from your wants. You want everything. You want to have this, you want to have that, but do you really need it? So financial literacy helps you to differentiate between your needs and your wants, and also helps you to prioritize your needs over your wants. It helps you to stay away from carrying out irrational behavior where you just buy things that you did not budget for, or things that you don't need, but you just see them and whimsically you feel that you should buy them, maybe to boost your morale. So another one is savings. Savings, most people think saving is a leftover. When you have leftover of everything, you have leftover, that's when you save. No, saving is not leftover. For people who are financially literate, saving is making provision. You plan for savings. This is because, according to John Maynard Keynes, we hold money for 3 reasons. For our daily transactions, that's transactions motive. For precautionary, to prepare for unforeseen circumstances, contingencies. So we keep for precautionary, and also we keep money to speculate for speculative motive, in order to take advantage of fluctuations so that we can make a profit. So we keep money for transactions, for speculation, and for precautionary motive. So now, savings, as I said, you save for the rainy day. You save for emergencies. His wife was about to give birth and they did not have a dime in the house. And this woman was pregnant for 9 months. But for these 9 months, there was no savings. So sometimes we blame poverty, but at other times, poverty may be responsible, but at other times it is not poverty. It is just a lack of planning when you don't plan at all. You believe that nature is going to provide. So financial literate persons plan for unforeseen circumstances. Even if they are in a tight condition, they also try to plan for emergencies because they know it is a natural cause. Also, investment. When you are financially literate, it helps you in your investment. People who are financially literate are able to invest better. If you are not betting, betting is different from investment. Betting, you are basically hoping on luck. You just pray that you get lucky. But investment, especially by people who are financially literate, they weigh the risk and the returns. They look at all of these. They look at probability. Probability plays a key role, and they also look at history. So if it's been happening like this, it's likely to happen again. So they look at probability. So when you're financially literate, it helps you to invest better. It helps them to define their risk appetite, basically, because there are different risk appetite. There are people who are aggressive risk takers, and there are people who are, they want risk that is balanced. So if you're financially literate, it will help you to define your appetite for risk, and it will also help you to know which one to go into. Then another one is borrowing. Borrowing is also key. Borrowing, most people think that borrowing is bad. Borrowing is not bad. It's when you borrow for things you shouldn't borrow for, like you borrow to go and marry, or you borrow to throw a party. No. But if you borrow for investment, if you borrow to create wealth, in no time, you'll be able to pay your interest and the principal, and then you have your business. You have established a business. So most businesses you see today were established with borrowed funds, and with time, they were able to pay off their creditors, and the business has become a giant today. So financially literate persons are able to weigh the risk and the reward of borrowing before they do so, before they borrow. So they borrow smartly. Okay, unlike people who are not financially literate. Then the last one I want to talk about is protecting your earnings, your investment, your assets. Most people jump into fraudulent schemes without thinking twice because they become sentimental. My brother is in it. Oh, my brother said it's working. It worked for him. Oh, my pastor said. Oh, my imam said. But the truth is, when you're financially literate, you always analyze every scheme that is offered to you before you go into it. So you talk about Ponzi scheme, for instance, like the MMM that ravaged Nigeria financially. A lot of people, so many people lost millions, and so many lives were actually destroyed. Businesses were destroyed because they were selfish. The promise that was being offered was put this money and you are going to get 30% at the end of the month. And nobody bothered to check what business are these people doing? What business is MMM doing to be giving me 30%? So they didn't look at whether the company had a factory, a business, whether they were investing in the stock exchange, whatever. They just offered 30%. And a lot of people jump into it. So there's another one that is ravaging people also, where they said, just bring in people, read a book and put in this money and you're going to smile to the bank. So when you're financially literate, you don't fall into fraudulent schemes easily. So this is why it is important to be financially literate. So I want to urge you, if you enjoy this, to like, to share with someone, and don't forget to subscribe to Finance Simplifier. I've done various stories on scams, like the Enron story, like the Welcome story, like the Nigerian MMM, and all of that. I urge you to go and watch those videos and you'll learn a lot from it. So thank you to all our loyal subscribers. Educational channels grow steadily. They are not like entertainment and gossips and all of that grow overnight. So we have been consistent. We've dished out over 160 videos in this past 1 year. And those of you who have been consistent in learning with us, we want to say thank you. And to reward you, you are given the opportunity to comment any topic in accounting and finance that has been giving you issues, that you found challenging. Comment it below and I promise to demystify it for you. My name is Echela Okwari. Let's keep learning together. Bye for now.